You want a different life, but you keep showing up as the same version of yourself. That contradiction is killing your momentum. You say you want more, but your habits are rooted in less. You dream of success, but your actions betray your doubt. That gap, it's not life being unfair. It's your own misalignment. You are not stuck. You are undisciplined. You are not unlucky. You are unclear. You are not broken. You are distracted. The mind is not your prison, it's your engine. And most people are stuck in the back seat, blindfolded, letting the world steer them into mediocrity. You weren't born for the back seat. You weren't made for autopilot. You are here to create, not coast. You are here to dominate, not drift. Thought is energy. Belief is structure. Action is reality. The thoughts you tolerate become the boundaries of your world. The beliefs you reinforce become the walls you never climb over. The actions you repeat become the identity you never escape. You keep asking for a miracle, but ignore the equation right in front of you. Shift the thought. Reinforce the belief. Take different action, and the world bends. That's not a motivational quote. That's physics. You think success is luck. It's not. It's clarity multiplied by repetition. You think greatness is gifted. It's not. It's discipline amplified by vision. You think you're waiting for a sign, but the only sign that ever mattered is the decision you haven't made yet. Until you decide, nothing changes. The mind will run in circles. The doubts will keep you small. The same day will play on loop like a curse you put on yourself. No more pretending. You don't get to keep the old identity and claim a new reality. You don't get to speak of purpose while entertaining comfort. You don't get to whisper dreams while shouting excuses. Either you're building or you're breaking. Either you're committed or you're just interested. There is no middle. The middle is a lie. Train your mind to think beyond survival. You weren't built to just pay bills and post quotes. You weren't built to wake up tired, scroll away your potential, and fall asleep uninspired. You were built to innovate, to lead, to stretch what's possible. But that doesn't happen by chance. It happens by force. Internal force, the kind that says, I don't care how I feel. I care what I said I'd do. When your mind is clear, the world gets louder because your clarity threatens their comfort. That's when doubt disguises itself as advice. That's when failure dresses up like logic. That's when average people call your standards extreme. But you're not here for average. You're not here to be understood. You're here to build something so real, so undeniable, that reality has no choice but to catch up. You must learn to see the invisible, because everything you want begins there. Wealth begins in silence. Mastery begins in boredom. Power begins in stillness. You want fireworks, but the spark starts in still commitment. You want the spotlight, but your character is forged in the dark. You want the results, but you haven't earned the identity. And without the identity, the results vanish. The world won't believe in you until you believe without evidence. That's not delusion. That's vision. Vision isn't wishful thinking, it's focused thinking. Vision is clarity made stubborn. It's thought made sharp. It's energy that refuses to scatter. When you hold that vision, you give form to the formless. You bend time, energy, and attention around one outcome, and the universe adjusts. Not because it owes you anything, but because you finally stopped doubting and started aligning. You cannot master your future with a mindset that's loyal to your past. You cannot chase a calling while obeying your comfort. You cannot unlock new levels while clinging to old fears. Let go. Let go of the story that says you're not ready. Let go of the lie that says you're too late. Let go of the weight that says you're not enough. You are not your wounds. You are not your record. You are not your circumstances. You are your decision. You are your discipline. You are your direction. Discipline is freedom. Routine is power. Most people wake up hoping for motivation, but the few who build legacies, they don't wait to feel like it. They don't negotiate with their emotions. They don't give energy to distractions. They train themselves to do what must be done, especially when it's inconvenient. That's the difference. Not talent, not luck, just obedience to purpose. You don't need more time. You need more intention. You don't need more inspiration. You need more follow-through. The gap between knowing and doing is filled with excuses. Burn them, all of them. You know what needs to be done. The only question is, will you execute while it's hard, while it's quiet, while no one claps? Because that's where transformation happens. In the silence, in the repetition, in the refusal to let the current version of you make decisions for the future you. Every action either reinforces your prison or sharpens your power. Every thought either feeds the doubt or fuels the fire. Every choice is a vote. Who are you voting for? The old you or the one you've been pretending you want to become? You don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you believe. And belief isn't something you whisper to feel better. Belief is proven by consistency. Belief is embedded in behavior. You can't fake belief. You can't fake identity. You either act in alignment or you don't. And if you don't, you lose not because the world is against you, but because you are against yourself. Now listen closely. There will come a moment when everything around you says stop, when the bank account says quit, when the voice in your head screams for comfort, when people laugh, when progress feels invisible. And that moment will be the test, not of your strengths, but of your belief. Can you keep walking when the world gives you every reason to crawl? Can you hold the vision when it's only in your mind? Can you act like it's real before it becomes real? That's where power lives. That's where the few separate from the many. That's where gravity bends, because while most people react, you create. While most people complain, you build. While most people wait, you move. That's how reality shifts, not with noise, not with emotion, but with silent, relentless execution. There's no secret path, no shortcut, no hack. There's only this moment, and what you do with it. Every second is a brick. You're either building your empire or stacking your excuses. You think tomorrow is guaranteed? It's not. The clock is not your friend. It's your test. What you tolerate now becomes the pattern that traps you. What you allow today becomes the identity that defines you. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your standards. So raise them. Raise them so high they scare you. Raise them so high they break your old self in half. You're not here to live at sea level, you're here to climb. You're here to breathe rare air, the kind only the disciplined ever taste. You're not here to seek permission, you're here to move like the gate was never locked. And no, it won't be fair. Life wasn't designed to be fair. It was designed to test your resolve. You want ease? Stay asleep? You want growth? Get uncomfortable. Get disrespected by comfort. Get allergic to passivity. Get obsessed with mastery, because no one's going to hand you transformation. You're going to have to build it from blood, thought, and repetition. The strongest minds don't avoid pain, they invite it, because pain is data. Pain is the compass. Pain is the price of entry. Most people avoid the fire. You have to walk into it and build your tolerance. Not just physically, but mentally. Because your success won't come from how much you know it'll come, from how much you can withstand without folding. Purpose doesn't come from thinking, it comes from moving. Clarity doesn't wait for calm, it sharpens in chaos. Stop waiting to feel ready. You'll never be. And the ones who win, they know that. They move anyway. They build while afraid. They climb while uncertain. They speak while their voice shakes. That's what separates them, not confidence commitment. And that commitment must be aggressive, ruthless, precise. It must outlast your moods, outwork your doubt, outperform your old identity. It must become your new religion. Because if you keep negotiating with your potential, you'll always end up poor. Not just financially, spiritually, mentally, creatively. And you were not born to live poor. You were born to create wealth of mind, of meaning, of movement. Gratitude is not softness. It is power. It is the lens that flips limitation into leverage. You want to complain about where you are? Or will you train your eyes to find fuel in what others call failure? When you're truly grateful, your excuses die. You stop blaming your environment. You stop blaming your past. You start building from now. Thank the struggle it's shaping you. Thank the silence it's strengthening you. Thank the doubt it's showing you where to reinforce. When you move with gratitude, you don't collapse, you calibrate. You don't break, you bend. That's the art of resilience. That's the power of perspective. Flexibility doesn't mean weakness. It means strength under pressure. Rigidity snaps. Flexibility adapts. Life won't ask your permission to change. It'll hit you with chaos, pull the rug, erase the plan, and in those moments your ability to pivot without panicking will define your destiny. Adaptability isn't just survival, it's strategy. It's how vision stays alive when the winds shift. Don't get romantic about your plan. Get loyal to your outcome. Change the route, not the destination. Be water. Flow where others freeze. Move where others wait. That is evolution in real time. That is intelligence in motion. And in all of this, never stop learning. Not from books alone, but from life itself, from failure, from friction, from your own resistance. Every mistake is feedback. Every setback is an instruction. If you're not learning, you're dying. The moment you think you know enough is the moment you start becoming irrelevant. Ego kills more dreams than failure ever could. Stay a student. Stay curious. Stay open. Because genius isn't a gift, it's a posture. A readiness to look again. A willingness to unlearn. A hunger to go deeper, even when you're praised for being right. You don't rise by being the loudest in the room. You rise by being the most receptive to truth, especially the kind that humbles you. So, listen. Strip away the noise, turn down the opinions, shut out the static. Clarity is quiet. And in that quiet, you'll remember who you are, not what the world told you to be, not what fear dressed you up as, but the raw, unfiltered identity that doesn't need validation to move. That's your true power. Not given. Unleashed. Now it's time. You've been circling the starting line for too long. No more preparation without execution. No more learning without applying. No more wanting without working. Every second you hesitate, the old you survives. And the old you is the only thing standing in your way. Kill that version. Burn the comfort. Set fire to the excuses and watch what rises from the ashes. A new mind, a new rhythm, a new law. One you write with your decisions, sign with your actions, and seal with your persistence. You want to know how energy works? You become what you repeat. And if you repeat power, power becomes your frequency. If you repeat discipline, success becomes inevitable. That's not theory. That's physics. Nothing in your life changes until you do. Thought alone is not enough. Vision alone is not enough. You must become the kind of person who does the work, whether or not the world is watching, especially when the world isn't watching. Because those moments, those quiet, overlooked, early, hard, unglamorous moments, those are the ones that build the real you. The one who doesn't flinch when it's difficult, the one who doesn't fold when it's slow, the one who doesn't beg for applause because they already believe. That belief is not soft. It is not a feeling. It is war. It is choice. It is discipline with a target. Faith without action is fantasy. But belief paired with execution, that's revolution. There is a version of you waiting to be built. It doesn't live in the past. It doesn't live in your memory or your pain or your excuses. It lives in your decision, your daily habits, your brutal honesty, your ability to stare at your own patterns and destroy the ones that no longer serve your direction. The difference between who you are and who you could be is not potential, it's consistency. You keep asking for breakthroughs, but you still protect your limitations. You defend your distractions. You justify your delay. That mindset is betrayal of the vision you claim to have. You cannot evolve if you're still loyal to the patterns that break you. You cannot lead if you still follow the voice of fear. And you cannot grow if you are still negotiating with your weakness. Burn the safety net. Break the cycle. You're not stuck. You're surrounded by the lies you tell yourself to stay small. It doesn't matter how big the dream is if your discipline is weak. A weak mind creates loud excuses. A strong mind builds in silence. Strength isn't shouting your goals to the world. It's keeping your promise when no one's watching. It's showing up when you're exhausted. It's doing the hard thing when the easy thing begs for your attention. Most people fold because they confuse comfort with peace. But comfort is a trap. Peace is found through purpose, and purpose is a battlefield. If you want clarity, you need space, not more opinions, not more noise, not more validation. Silence is where the signal lives. Quiet is where truth becomes audible. Cut the distractions. Cut the content. Cut the comfort. Be alone with your direction until it becomes loud enough to drown out your doubt. Because clarity isn't found, it's forged. You earn it through isolation, through action, through refinement. And once you have it, everything changes. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop reacting and start building. You stop seeking and start creating. That's the frequency of alignment. That's the power of mental order. And from there, action becomes effortless. Not because it's easy, but because it's pure, direct, undiluted by fear or overthinking. The mind becomes a weapon, and your goals become inevitable. But you can't operate at that level if you keep hiding from pain. Pain is the admission fee to greatness. Pain isn't proof that you're weak, it's proof that you're alive. And it's the only thing strong enough to break your illusions. Let it. Let it carve away the parts of you that don't belong at the next level. Let it rip through your ego. Let it burn your false narratives. Because what remains after the fire is real. That's the version of you that can't be shaken. Resilience isn't just the ability to recover. It's the choice to expand in the face of contraction. Most people shrink when life gets hard. They retreat. They compromise. But not you. Not anymore. You grow through it. You build through it. You look at adversity and say, bend me, don't break me. Every setback is an invitation to level up. Every hit is data. Every loss is leverage. You don't rise by avoiding the storm. You rise by walking through it until the storm respects your presence. Until life itself learns your rhythm and starts bending in your direction. That's not arrogance. That's energetic certainty. That's what happens when your purpose becomes louder than your past. That's what happens when your identity finally catches up with your vision. There will be days when motivation dies, when progress hides, when results lie. That's when discipline must take over. Discipline isn't punishment, it's alignment. It's you proving to the universe that you're serious, that you can be trusted with more, that you can hold pressure without begging for ease. Most people want greatness until they see the price. And the price is always paid in silence, in sacrifice, in standards. Raise them. Again, even higher, because your results will never exceed your standards. You don't get what you want, you get what you demand of yourself. Stop asking for a new reality if you're still entertaining the same behaviors. Nothing changes until you do, not in theory, not in your journal, but in your calendar, your actions, your patterns. You want power? Then move like someone who already has it. Think like someone who already broke through. Speak like someone who refuses to break. Energy doesn't lie. People can feel your frequency before you speak, and the world reflects back what you broadcast. If you walk like a victim, expect chains. If you walk like a leader, expect resistance, but also momentum. Because leadership is friction, power is pressure, and freedom is earned in the fire. Your purpose is not a hobby. It's not optional. It's not soft. It's sacred. And every time you avoid it, delay it, or play small with it, you suffer. You don't need more motivation. You need to get tired of your own games. You need to declare war on your own apathy. Because purpose will haunt you until you either obey it or destroy yourself trying to ignore it. So obey it fully. Not halfway, not when it's easy, not when you feel like it, but every day, with urgency, with certainty, with obsession. That's what it takes. That's what it's always taken. And the minute you stop outsourcing your energy to the world, the minute you decide that your internal engine is enough, that's when everything changes. This world doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't hand out meaning. It doesn't reward intention. It responds to precision. It mirrors your discipline. It multiplies your consistency. If you operate with half-heart, it returns a half-built life. If you show up in pieces, it gives you fragments of your potential. But when you Bring full force mind, body, spirit, decision, execution, it moves. Not always on your timing, but always in your favor. Because energy doesn't disappear, it compounds, and now it's your move. No one's coming to pull you from your doubts. No one's coming to rescue you from your routine. You are the rescuer. You are the answer. You are the force you've been waiting for. Every voice telling you to slow down, play it safe, be realistic. That voice dies the moment you choose power. Power to act, power to build, power to become the person your future requires. And don't you dare say it's too late. The moment you decide, time bends. The moment you commit, momentum obeys. The moment you lock in, reality begins to shift. But only when you burn the fallback plan. Only when your identity matches your intention. Only when your standard makes comfort flinch. And if you think this is hype, you haven't lived it yet. But you will. Because this fire in you, it's not a phase. It's a signal. And this is the moment you answer it. Not with more words, not with more vision boards, with action, immediate, unapologetic, relentless, because the clock won't wait for you to heal. Life won't pause until you're ready. You build while it hurts. You move while you're scared. You rise while it's dark. That's how leaders are born. That's how revolutions are made. That's how identities are reprogrammed under pressure, in motion, with no backup plan. So get ruthless with your peace. Protect it like your destiny depends on it, because it does. Eliminate the noise. Cut out the approval addiction. You don't need likes. You need results. You don't need to be seen. You need to be effective. You don't need validation. You need volume of work, of grit, of follow-through. The applause will come, or it won't. But either way, you move, because you weren't born to be average. You weren't built to coast. You are the living result of divine force and atomic order. You are structure and storm, math and madness. And when you aim all of that at one purpose, you don't just succeed, you erupt. You shatter ceilings. You rebuild patterns. You bend probability. So stop explaining, stop waiting, stop analyzing yourself into inaction. The real you doesn't need approval. It needs space to execute. That vision in your chest, it's real. That pull you feel, it's your calling. And the fear that stands in front of it, that's the test. It doesn't go away. You just outgrow it. You rise until fear becomes the fuel, until your doubt becomes background noise, until your focus burns through every lie you used to believe. And on the other side of that burn, there is a world that only exists for the few, the ones who kept going, the ones who chose clarity over chaos, the ones who traded distraction for discipline, the ones who walked alone long enough for purpose to become louder than applause. That world is real. And you don't visit it, you live in it, you own it, you protect it, you expand it. And then you teach others how to find it. That's legacy, not fame, not money, impact, alignment, truth. That's the reward, but only for those who obey the voice inside them louder than the noise around them. So walk like it's already done, speak like it's already yours, move like nothing can stop you, because nothing can. Not if you become the version of yourself who refuses to be denied. You're not here to survive. You're here to command, to create, to conquer the patterns that kept your family stuck, to rewrite the future with your thoughts, to rebuild the laws of your own mind. So go, and don't look back. Burn the plan B. Burn the hesitation. Burn the old self. This is your rebirth. This is your upgrade. This is your evolution, and it starts right now. No more talking, no more waiting, no more almost. Decide, move, become. The universe is already adjusting. Make sure you're ready when it arrives.